The genetic legacy of Neanderthals in modern human populations has sparked widespread interest in evolutionary biology and anthropology. This legacy is most visible in non-African populations, which have approximately 2% Neanderthal DNA as a result of tens of thousands of years of interbreeding between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. When Homo sapiens began migrating into Europe and Asia around 70,000 years ago, they encountered and interbred with Neanderthals, who had been present in Eurasia for hundreds of thousands of years. The gene flow resulting from this contact left permanent genetic markers in the genomes of modern, non-African populations. These introgressed genes influenced a wide range of traits, including phenotypic characteristics. Researchers are particularly interested in the potential role of Neanderthal genes in European phenotypic traits, specifically skin color, eye color, and hair color. Interbreeding between Neanderthals and early modern humans produced genetic diversity, which influenced phenotypic characteristics, including skin, eye, and hair color, in modern European populations. While the precise contributions are still being determined by ongoing genetic research, it is clear that Neanderthal gene flow influenced some of these characteristics. The legacy of these ancient encounters serves as a stark reminder of human evolution's complex history of adaptation to changing environments. This genetic legacy not only helped early Homo sapiens thrive in new and difficult environments, but it also contributed to the wide range of human characteristics that we see today. A recent study, titled Paleogenomics of Upper Paleolithic to Neolithic European Hunter-Gatherers, sheds light on this genetic legacy. A study titled The Genetic History of Ice Age Europe investigates the genetic changes that occurred in European populations between 45,000 and 7,000 years back. It investigates how different waves of migration affected the genetic makeup of ancient European populations. According to the study, early modern humans arrived in Europe around 45,000 years ago. The first wave included people from the GOYET caves, who were part of the Aurignacian culture, and contributed significantly to Europe's early genetic landscape. For example, an Upper Paleolithic caveman from Belgium's Goyet cave, known as Goyet Q 116-1, has undergone a number of genetic analyses which have revealed information about physical characteristics including pigmentation, eye color, hair color, and genetic lineage. Here's what we know. The genetic profile indicates that this person had relatively light skin, but not as light as modern Europeans. Early European hunter-gatherers frequently exhibited skin pigmentation adapted for regions with less sunlight exposure, but complete depigmentation may not have been present. Goyet Q 116-1 was identified from human cranial remains discovered in Belgium's Goyet caves. This specimen's analysis was primarily focused on the skull, which provided valuable genetic and morphological information for understanding early European populations. This fossil is part of a collection of modern human and Neanderthal remains from the Goyet caves, which has provided important insights into the life, culture, and genetics of early modern humans in Europe during the late Pleistocene. Genetic data from similar individuals in the Upper Paleolithic, such as those from European hunter-gatherer groups, suggest a range that could include dark brown eyes, though blue or lighter eyes became more common in subsequent populations. The Goyet cavemen probably had dark hair. Early European hunter-gatherers, including those with the same genetic background as Goyet caveman, tended to have dark hair as the dominant trait. According to genetic analyses, the Goyet caveman was a male individual. These characteristics indicate that the Goyet caveman and related populations were adapted to the European environment at the time, contributing to the genetic diversity seen in later European populations. The Goyet fossil is dated to around 35,000 years ago, during the Upper Paleolithic. This time period corresponds to the Aurignacian culture, which is one of Europe's oldest known modern human societies. Western hunter-gatherers, such as Goyet caveman, were among Europe's earliest inhabitants during the Upper Paleolithic period. Whatever the case, early Europeans, including the Goyet cavemen, had about 3% Neanderthal DNA due to interbreeding before modern humans spread across the continent. While the percent seems very small, 3% represents the same amount of DNA you inherit from a fifth great-grandparent who may have lived as recently as 150 years ago, assuming no Neanderthal interbreeding occurred with other ancestors. Thus, it is very remarkable that humans today still have around 2 or 3% Neanderthal DNA after 50,000 years. However, this percentage is not consistent, as many early modern Europeans have Neanderthal DNA in long sequences, indicating recent interbreeding, whereas living modern humans have Neanderthal DNA in shorter sequences. The study also looks at the transition from the Aurignacian to the Gravettian, and finally to the Magdalenian cultures. Each cultural shift was frequently accompanied by changes in genetic composition, indicating new migrations or population mixing. The genetic data show that some European lineages survived major climatic events, while others were replaced or absorbed by new groups from other regions. By the end of the Ice Age, the genetic landscape had prepared the way for the Mesolithic, which further reshaped European genetics. The study emphasizes the dynamic genetic history of Ice Age Europe, which included migrations, population replacements, and interactions between different groups. This time period paved the way for modern Europeans' complex genetic makeup, demonstrating how ancient populations adapted and interacted over thousands of years despite dramatic climate fluctuations and cultural shifts. What's more, the GOYET caves contain evidence of both Neanderthal and modern human occupation, making them an important archaeological site for studying hominin interactions. The cave contained Neanderthal remains dating back to approximately 40,000 years, which corresponds to when modern humans migrated into Europe. This implies that these groups coexisted, exchanging cultural and genetic material. For example, carvings, beads, and musical instruments are among the most well-known examples of Aurignacian artistic achievement. The Lion Man figurine, discovered in Germany's Hohenstein-Stadel cave, approximately 500 kilometers southeast of the GOYET caves, and dating back around 40,000 years, is one of the earliest known examples of figurative art. This sculpture, made of mammoth ivory, depicts a humanoid figure with a lion's head, and is associated with the Aurignacian culture, also found at GOYET cave. The presence of such sophisticated artwork suggests that early Europeans developed complex symbolic thinking, as well as a spiritual or ritualistic dimension to their lives. The Lion Man's craftsmanship indicates that these people were capable of conceptualizing abstract ideas, and may have engaged in early forms of storytelling or mythology. If GOYET Q116-1 had lived during this period, he would have been part of a community that valued the same shared beliefs, rituals, and artistic expression. Art and symbolic objects would have been important in the life of GOYET cave community. Whether participating in rituals involving carvings like the Lion Man or making personal adornments like beads, these activities helped people develop a sense of identity and connection to the natural and spiritual worlds. The belief in animal spirits, or the manifestation of powerful creatures in human form, may have been widespread, as evidenced by historical artistic choices. If the GOYET cave community were aware of symbolic art, such as the Lion Man, it would imply that their world was infused with a strong spiritual belief system. Spirit-being beliefs may have influenced the use of human and animal forms in art, with certain animals revered as spiritual guides or protectors. The communal nature of rituals, storytelling, and shared beliefs would have increased group cohesion and enabled these early communities to confront environmental challenges together. The life of the GOYET cave community sheds light on the world of early Europeans, in which survival was linked to art, belief, and community. The genetic and cultural threads that connect this individual to the Neanderthals in the GOYET caves, as well as the artistic vision exemplified by the Lion Man figurine, form a historical lineage. This legacy is preserved in the DNA of modern Europeans, demonstrating our ancestors' resilience and adaptability. GOYET cave reveals the deep roots of human expression and interconnectedness, dating back tens of thousands of years to the heart of Ice Age Europe. The presence of Neanderthal DNA in GOYET caveman's genome demonstrates the extent of interbreeding that occurred when modern humans arrived in Europe. The Neanderthals in the GOYET caves were among the last of their kind, surviving in Europe during a time of intense environmental and competitive pressure. GOYET caveman, who had a combination of modern human and Neanderthal DNA, exemplified the early exchange of genetic and cultural traits that would shape future European populations. Neanderthal genes in modern humans influence a variety of traits, including immune system responses and skin adaptations. The GOYET caves in Belgium are significant archaeological sites that have yielded a wealth of Neanderthal fossils and DNA, providing insight into the genetics and lifestyle of these ancient humans. The GOYET caves contained bones from several Neanderthals, including partial skulls, jawbones and long bones. These fossils, dating from approximately 40,000 to 45,000 years ago, would have overlapped with the ancestors of the GOYET caveman. Genetic studies of the GOYET Neanderthals have provided critical information about the genetic makeup of late Neanderthal populations in Europe. These studies revealed typical Neanderthal genetic markers, which helped researchers better understand their population structure. The analysis of mitochondrial DNA from GOYET Neanderthals revealed that they had distinct maternal lineages when compared to other Neanderthal groups in Europe and Asia, indicating genetic diversity among Neanderthals. Nonetheless, the GOYET Neanderthals' mitochondrial DNA is consistent with the larger framework of known Neanderthal maternal lineages, which are less diverse than those found in modern human populations. This lower diversity suggests that Neanderthal populations were smaller, more isolated, and had less gene flow between them. The GOYET mitochondrial DNA reveals that these Neanderthals were part of a group that shared a maternal lineage and lived in Western Europe during the late Neanderthal period. Genome-wide studies and gene variant analyses have been critical in determining which Neanderthal gene variants are still present in modern human populations. For example, gene variants associated with Neanderthal introgression have been linked to skin pigmentation traits, allowing us to better understand how these ancient genes influence the appearance of modern Europeans. Ancient Neanderthal DNA studies have revealed variants in genes associated with skin pigmentation that may have been passed down to modern Europeans. MC1R is an important gene that plays a role in melanin production. Some Neanderthal MC1R gene variants appear to have influenced differences in skin tone among modern humans, favoring lighter skin. However, the precise impact is unknown because modern European skin color is also influenced by natural selection and the interactions of multiple genetic factors over time. It is critical to understand that skin, eye, and hair color are polygenic traits, which means they are influenced by more than one gene. The impact of Neanderthal genes must be considered in the context of natural selection, adaptation, and the blending of various genetic contributions over millennia. For example, the admixture of Neanderthal genes with those of early modern humans may have helped populations adapt to Europe's lower levels of sunlight by influencing traits like skin color. Human eye color is primarily determined by the interaction of several genes, the most important of which are OCA2 and HERK2. Neanderthals, like early modern humans, are thought to have had a wide range of eye colors, including lighter shades like blue and green. Variants associated with lighter eye color, particularly blue, have been discovered in ancient DNA analysis, implying that Neanderthals may have possessed such characteristics, or that similar alleles existed in their gene pool. The introduction of these alleles into modern human populations may have contributed to the current diversity of eye colors in Europe. For example, researchers discovered Neanderthal-derived segments in the human genome that correspond to regions known to influence pigmentation. Human hair color is determined by genes that control the type and amount of melanin production. The Neanderthal influence on hair color in modern humans may have contributed to the diversity seen in European populations. Genetic analysis of Neanderthal remains reveals that some individuals had dark hair, while others may have had red or lighter hair. Indeed, variants associated with hair color in genes such as MC1R and TRP1 suggest Neanderthal admixture. Alleles responsible for red hair and lighter hair have been linked to Neanderthal gene flow. The presence of these alleles in some modern human populations suggests that these ancient interactions provided the genetic basis for lighter and more diverse hair color in Europe, as well as an increased likelihood of back hair. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments what you think. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this topic. Also, check out our other videos on our shared human history. And as always, be safe and take care.